You want to be a good actor. That's first and foremost. But what struck me the most was how important the improv was. It's incredible, because you might have to speak for 3 minutes convincingly about a topic that you may not be familiar with.
Actually, you might have to do that 3-minute scene 2 or 3 times if you're filling a large crowd with different audio. Information and dialogue. Yeah.
I once had to do. I don't know if it was for you or it was a different director who said, "Hey, can you do just golf narration?" Because the character walks into a scene and the TV's on, and throughout the whole scene the TV is on and it's golf narration, and he's stepping up. Last week at Wimbledon. So that was really fun. Actually, I got a little heads up on that. So some of it is doing research ahead of time if you know that there are going to be scenes in a specific place, but we can get into that later.
This isn't just something you go in and we go la 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 in the background. These, well, some days we do, but it is basically your great acting skills, because you're at the mic sometimes on your own. You're revoicing people. You're doing lines. You might be the reporter on the scene, in the scene, and it's improv skills. One thing I tell everyone is you should take improv classes, on-camera classes. You should take, comedy classes. You need to not be afraid to stand in a room with a lot of people staring at you and trying to do a very difficult job. And as far as the research you were going mentions, it's really important. Like, I just did a movie a couple of weeks ago, which you'll see next year. It's a huge movie, and I needed people men actually, who were in the Navy. So that's very specific. So I have actors who were in the Navy. So they booked this job and worked with us because the lingo that comes out of them, the things they're going to say, is real life. They know how to say it because they were there, right? So they're real life Navy guys, but they're now actors as well, and they've been doing voiceover or on camera, right? So sometimes I just have my regular loopers, if we call them regular loopers, who are like the jack of all trade, right? So they would learn Navy lingo and research it and be able to come onto the ship and talk about anything that's happening onto that ship. But this particular film wanted the authentic Navy guys. So it's very specific. This work is very specific.
So what do you recommend actors do to protect their voice when they're doing, and you guys have done the big screaming scenes, haven't you?
Boy.
If you're on a Middle Eastern movie, I hate to tell you, the whole movie is all screaming. So we have to pace ourselves, and thank goodness there's like different actors that take turns in doing the screaming. So we're just like with the honey and lemon tea nonstop.
I think you're on.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If you do, I do a lot of audiobooks, and so then you're speaking for 6 hours, and that's not at a time. And so, obviously you want to get some sleep and throat coat tea. But if you do interactive video games also, if you've ever done battle chatter, it sounds kind of harmless. Battle chatter. Okay, it's what people kind of chat on the comms. No. That's when your volume and you're screaming at 9, at 10. Grenade! And it's done. It's intense.
It is intense.
And I just did one recently, and they were good enough to schedule me end of day Friday. Because he's an actor, so let's at least give him the weekend to recover in case he needs to work or audition for something else on Monday. But they were pretty conscientious. They've learned, thanks to our union, that's something that was really pushed for, and that we were pretty vocal about that we need to protect the VO actors' voice, the instruments. You can't blow out your voice for one day. No job is worth destroying your voice forever. Please don't ever do that. But yes, you want to protect it, like you said, sleep, water, tea.
But as far as all this yelling goes in a film, I will choose the loopers who I know have really strong voices and can yell all day without a problem, okay? So if you can't yell all day, you will have a hard time being a looper in general, because there is a lot of screaming and yelling, or people just talking really loud like this all the time. And all that projecting, especially whispering when you gotta whisper, that'll burn out your throat. So you need to have a strong voice to be a great looper and to be called a lot, that you don't lose your voice. You need to learn how to use your voice. Vocal coaches can really assist in that area. We can do some of the bigger crowd screaming at the end of films, but it's not gonna help if it's a film that's just loud and screaming and big crowds throughout the whole thing, you're going to be yelling and on your feet all day long. It's a very active, energetic, physical job. Besides just with your voice. And if you have a quiet little meek voice, looping is just probably not for you.
I did
a
a movie